And today is the 7th of December, so we have the perception of this being the last day of our retreat, the last few hours together. So the mind very easily moves towards creating the future. Where we're going to go, what we're going to do, who we're going to see. So the last day of a retreat is the ideal opportunity to reflect upon bhavatanha, the desire to become. The way the mind creates the image of a future and then leans towards it, inclines towards it. Creating the idea of plans over there. But that Dhamma is here and now. Akaliko, timeless. The good thing is not over there, beyond the horizon. But it's here. The Dhamma is paccuppanna, here and now. Akaliko, timeless. Sanditiko, apparent. At this time, in this place. So if the mind is locked into becoming, it's missing the reality of what's already here. So busy with trying to get over there, planning for that, we miss the reality that is this. That's here already. It's like you don't have to think about getting to Balaji Nigrodha. You're here already. There's no need to become. And in the teachings it makes it very clear. Bhava nirodho nibbana. The ending of becoming is nibbana. Bhava nirodho nibbana. The cessation of becoming is nibbana. So that doesn't mean that we stop in our tracks and freeze ourselves as we walk. Stop in mid-sentence, halfway through a word. That's not what the cessation of becoming means. But rather, it's awakening the mind to that dimension of its own being, that ayatana, which is beyond going forwards, going backwards, or standing still, which is outside of time, outside of space, outside of identity. Timeless, limitless, selfless, yet ever present. Once, in the Buddha's time, a deva came to visit him, called Rohitasa. And Rohitasa said, "My last life as a human being, I was a yogi, and I made the resolution to walk to the end of the world. Even though I could walk through the sky, and I journeyed year after year after year, I never could reach the end of the world, and I died on the journey." And the Buddha said to Rohitasa, "You cannot reach the end of the world by walking. I say to you, unless you reach the end of the world, you won't reach the end of suffering." And he explained, it is in this 6-foot-long body, this fathom-long body with its perceptions and its thoughts, there is the world, the origin of the world, the cessation of the world, and the way leading to the cessation of the world. And when we use words like the end of the world, we think of some kind of catastrophe, some destruction of the planet or the universe. When the Buddha uses the phrase the end of the world, it's not about an explosion or heat death at the end of the universe. Rather, where the world ends. If the world is the eye, the ear, the nose, the tongue, the body, the mind, where does it end? Where does the world end? It ends in this very awareness, this very quality of knowing. That which knows the world, but which is not limited by the world. As the Buddha later explained, that in the world whereby one is a perceiver of the world, a conceiver of the world, that is what is called the world in this Dhamma and discipline. What is it whereby one is a perceiver of the world, a conceiver of the world? The eye, the ear, the nose, the tongue, the body, the mind. That is the means whereby one is a perceiver of the world, a conceiver of the world. So to be a knower of the world, lokavitu, is to be that quality of awareness that knows, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, feeling, thinking, knowing it as it arises, knowing as it takes shape, knowing it as it dissolves. In this fathom-long body is the world, the origin of the world, the cessation of the world, and the way leading to the cessation of the world. When the heart abides in this quality of awareness, vijja, this awakened awareness, this knowing, it knows the world, lokavitu. It's a characteristic of the Buddha, the one who knows, that which is awake, lokavitu. It knows the world, but it is not limited by the world. Like the Buddha said, born in the world, but yet growing to be above the world, like a lotus flower. His roots are in the mud, but yet the lotus flower stands above the water, in the sun. When the heart is established in this quality of vijja, awakened awareness, knowing, then the world can be seen, can be known as arising and passing away within that. In this very moment, the feelings of the body, the sound of my voice, the sensation of the clothes on your skin, the weight of the body on your cushion, on your chair. This is feeling, hearing, arising and passing away. Thoughts, arising and passing away. It all happens within this space of awareness. It's received here, it's known here. It ends here. So your heart is the place where the world ends. But that ending is not a catastrophe or a disaster or a loss. Not in any way. Rather, when the world is known in this way, the heart is attuned to the perceptions of the world, thoughts and feelings, memories, moods, perceptions, sight and sound, smell and taste and touch. It knows them without confusion, without bias. It knows them, but is not limited by them. It can respond. The heart can respond to those perceptions. It's time to move, time to eat, time to sit still, time to be quiet, time to speak. But because of that attunement, grounded in Dhamma, based in Dhamma, then the heart responds according to time and place, situation, rather than reacting blindly, unconsciously. In another encounter, the Buddha, speaking to the householder Kevada, told the story of how a monk was meditating and the thought arose in his mind, where is it that the four great elements, earth, water, fire and wind, cease without remainder? Where is that place? Is there a place where the four elements no longer exist? And that monk, being a skilled meditator, absorbed his mind into the heavenly realms and journeyed up to visit the devas of the four great kings, the Chatu Maharajas. Asked him this question, where is it that earth, water, fire and wind cease without remainder? He said, oh, we don't know, this is deep philosophy. You better go upstairs, better ask the devas of the Tavatimsa heaven. They're much more wise and knowledgeable than we are. We're just the security guards. We're just the lokapalas. So he went up to the Tavatimsa heaven. They said, oh, we don't know that. Better ask King Indra himself, the king of the Tavatimsa heaven. He's wise. He's a practitioner of Dhamma. He would understand. So he asks Indra, and Indra says, oh, sorry, I don't know, that's much too deep for me. You better try higher up. So onwards and upwards to the Yama Devas, the Tusita heaven, the Parinimita Vasaviti Devas, all the way up to the world of Mahabrahma. Keeps asking the same question. They keep saying, sorry, we don't know. Better try upstairs. Try the next heaven, the next level. So he asks the retinue of Mahabrahma, where is it that earth, water, fire and wind fade out and cease without remainder? So, well, we don't know, but Mahabrahma, he's the great one. He will, if you're lucky, Mahabrahma will appear and you can put your question to the great Brahma. So eventually a light appears and Mahabrahma manifests, and then the monk asks, Mahabrahma, can you tell me, where is it that earth, water, fire and wind fade out and cease without remainder? Mahabrahma says, I am Brahma, the great Brahma, the Almighty, the Creator, the wielder of mastery over all that are and are to be. The monk said, well, I didn't ask you that. What I asked was, where is it that earth, water, fire and wind fade out and cease without remainder? Mahabrahma says, I am Brahma, the great Brahma, Creator, Master and Orderer of all that are and are to be, Creator and Ordainer of all things. Again he said, well, I didn't ask you that. I asked you, where is it that earth, water, fire and wind fade out and cease without remainder? Eventually Mahabrahma took him by the arm and said, look, you're embarrassing me in front of my retinue. I don't know the answer. Besides, you're a disciple of the Buddha, so what are you doing coming here asking me? You should go to the Buddha himself, and he can respond to your question. So the monk descended back into his body, happened to be living in the monastery where the Buddha was, came and spoke to the Buddha. The Buddha said to him, well, you've asked the question in the wrong way. Rather than asking where it is that earth, water, fire and wind fade out and cease without remainder, rather you should ask, where is it that earth, water, fire and wind can find no footing? Where is it that long and short and coarse and fine and pure and impure can find no footing, can find no place of establishment, can gain no traction? And he uses this interesting phrase. He said, it is in the Vijnanam Anidasanam Anantam Sabato Prabham. The consciousness, the awareness, Vijnana Anidasanam, which is non-manifest, invisible, unformed. Anantam, limitless, infinite. Sabato Prabham, radiant in all directions, or accessible from every side. There it is, in that quality of awareness, that earth, water, fire and wind can find no footing. They're also long and short and coarse and fine, pure and impure, can find no footing. They are all held in check therein. They all reach their limit. They can find no footing, no traction in that mind of awakened awareness, Vijnanam Anidasanam. Now people debate about the exact meaning of this phrase, write learned treatises about it, but here and now, in this very mind, we can see this is what Vipassana meditation is developing. This quality of awakened awareness where long and short and coarse and fine, pure and impure can find no footing. Like a mirror reflects the beautiful, the ugly, the sacred, the profane, without discrimination. It doesn't choose to only reflect the light from faces it likes and dismisses faces it doesn't like. It just reflects without bias. So too, this heart that is aware, awake, knows the pleasant, the painful, the neutral, the beautiful, the ugly, the internal, the external, far and near, coarse and fine, sacred and profane. It knows it, recognizes them, is not limited by them. So even though a phrase like the Vijnanam Anidasanam Anantam Sabato Prabham can seem remote or strange or mysterious, it's really this very heart of ours, this very mind that the meditation is working to clarify, to establish as the basis of awareness, the basis of experience. To be that very knowing that gives no traction, no footing, no ground, no place for the dust to fall. That which knows anger is not angry. That which knows sound is silent. That which knows form is formless. When we establish this change of perspective, we can see the world coming and going within the mind. You say, I'm in here, I'm in my body, the world is out there. You say, in my mind, in me, kind of pointing to our body, and the world out there. But these are just convenient phrases, convenient fictions. Because the whole world, our body, Balaji, Nagrodam, Delhi, India, the whole universe is known within this mind. Not saying that we invent the whole thing, it's all a dream, but rather our version of the world is experienced here. Whether it's a thought that we call inside, or the sound of a crow that we say is outside, hearing is known here. Thinking is known here. Remembering is known here. Sensations are known here. So the designation of in the body or outside the body, they are incidental, secondary. The whole field of experience is known within this very mind. It all happens here. Another of the puzzles that Luang Por Chah would put to people when they came to visit, he'd ask them, have you ever seen flowing water? People would say, yes, of course. We live by the river, see flowing water all the time. Have you ever seen still water? Well, of course. Water in a big water jar, a bathing jar, still water, you see it all the time. Well, did you ever see water that is both still and flowing at the same time? Nam Lai Ning, still flowing water. Did you ever see that? Well, people would be puzzled, confused. What does he mean? How can water be both still and flowing? Both flowing and still? He'd say the mind is like still flowing water. Perceptions flow, thoughts flow. Sounds of birds, the colour of the sky, the shape of the trees, clothes that people wear, the bodies of animals and insects. They move. Our thoughts, our memories, our ideas, our emotions, they move constantly. Thoughts and perceptions, feelings, flow incessantly. But that which knows the flowing never goes anywhere. It's outside the world of movement, outside the world of time, perfectly still, present. So the mind is like still flowing water, totally still, utterly fluid. Both of those qualities working together, interpenetrating. And when you truly know that stillness, that quality of awakened awareness, then we can allow the flow of the world to arise, take shape, and dissolve in the heart. And the movements of the world, the movements of thought and feeling, perception, don't disturb that fundamental stillness, that fundamental spacious, invulnerable, limitless awareness. How could the mirror be affected by the light that's reflected in it? When we consider things, look at things in this way, contemplate in this way. See, the world happens in the mind. It's known in this mind. This body is a set of perceptions known in this mind. Delhi, India, is a set of perceptions known in this mind. So rather than me going somewhere, me on the last day of the retreat, and then I have to go have a plane ticket for Singapore tomorrow. So there's a perception of I have to go, get to the airport, get on a plane, I will go. Those are thoughts, perceptions arising in the mind. And when the time comes, there's a set of perceptions of climbing onto a plane. That is also a set of perceptions in the mind. Plane flying through the sky, landing in Singapore. It's just another set of perceptions in the mind. So you never really go anywhere. It's different aspects of the world arise and pass away within the field of awareness. Nobody's going anywhere. It's just conditions of mind that are changing.